98 very bad condition Washington quarter dollar. First up, let's talk about the 1998 Washington quarter dollar in poor condition. While this might not seem like an exciting coin at first glance, it offers an excellent opportunity to explore how a coin's condition affects its value and appeal to collectors. 1. Historical context. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1998, the Washington quarter was well established as a standard U.S. coin, although there were discussions about updating the design. This was also the last year before the introduction of the popular 50-state quarters program in 1999, which significantly boosted public interest in collecting quarters. The 1998 quarter dollar maintains the classic design George Washington's profile on the obverse front side, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, we see an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, representing strength and readiness, with olive branches symbolizing peace. In 1998, the U.S. Mint produced over 1.2 billion Washington quarters between the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making it a very common coin. This high mintage is partly why most 1998 quarters, especially in bad condition, are not considered valuable. In coin collecting, the condition of a coin is everything. In a graded mint state MS, a 1998 quarter may only be worth a few dollars more than its face value, and in circulated poor condition, it generally retains only its 25-cent face value. When a coin is in very bad condition, factors like scratches, worn details, and damage from corrosion or chemicals can make it nearly worthless to collectors. Collectors generally seek coins that retain sharp details, especially on Washington's face and the eagle's wings. There aren't any major known errors for the 1998 Washington quarter, which means standard examples in poor condition hold little to no additional value. Occasionally, off-center strikes or clipped planchets can add a small premium, but in low condition, even these errors rarely attract much collector interest. Most collectors are looking for high-grade examples or interesting error varieties. Unfortunately, heavily circulated, poor condition 1998 quarters lack the appeal needed to be desirable collector's items. However, they are still useful for educational purposes or coin-themed art projects. A 1998 Washington quarter in poor condition has more sentimental than monetary value, but it can serve as a learning tool to understand how condition affects value, especially for beginning collectors. 1983 Washington quarter dollar. Next, let's talk about the 1983 Washington quarter, which has a surprising backstory that has driven its demand up despite being a relatively modern coin. The 1980s saw high levels of coin circulation and usage, but for the 1983 quarter, there was a unique situation. The U.S. Mint did not release any uncirculated sets in 1982 in 1983, which means collectors couldn't easily get pristine mint state versions of coins from these years. This rarity of uncirculated examples has added significant value to well-preserved 1983 quarters. The 1983 Washington quarter features the same John Flanagan design as previous years, with George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. The coin's reeded edge and the details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers are points of focus for collectors looking for sharp details. Mintage numbers for the 1983 quarter were robust, around 673 million from the Philadelphia Mint and over 617 million from the Denver Mint. Despite these high production numbers, the absence of uncirculated sets has made high-quality examples harder to find. The average circulated 1983 quarter may be worth between $0.25 and $2. However, uncirculated or high-grade examples, especially in MS65 or higher, can be worth considerably more. In recent years, MS65 graded 1983 quarters have been valued between $30 to $50, with MS67 examples commanding hundreds of dollars due to their rarity. Several errors are known for the 1983 quarter, including double dies, off-center strikes, and a few notable die. These errors can add value with prices depending on the rarity and severity of the error. Double die errors on the obverse are especially sought after and can range from $50 to several $100s in value. Due to the scarcity of uncirculated 1983 quarters, they hold strong collector appeal, particularly those in excellent condition. Serious collectors who focus on Washington quarters or varieties from this period actively seek high-grade 1983 quarters, making them a valuable addition to many collections. The 1983 Washington quarter is a prime example of how mintage and distribution can affect coin value. While many 1983 quarters exist, finding them in uncirculated or high grades is challenging, adding to their appeal among collectors. Chapter 3, 1998 Silver Washington quarter dollar. Finally, let's talk about the rare 1998 silver Washington quarter dollar. Wait, wasn't silver phased out of quarters in 1965? Yes. This makes the 1998 silver Washington quarter a unique and valuable coin for collectors. Historical context. The last official silver Washington quarters were minted in 1964, after which the U.S. Mint switched to a copper nickel-clad composition. However, some silver Washington quarters have been minted since then as part of special collector sets or experimental issues, often in proof finishes. In 1998, a few silver-proof quarters were released as part of the U.S. Mint silver-proof sets, making these pieces highly collectible. 2. Design features. The design is the same as the standard Washington quarter with George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. However, the silver composition gives the coin a distinct shine, and collectors can distinguish them by their weight, feel, and silver ring when tapped. Silver-proof quarters from 1998 were limited to the silver-proof set. The mintage of these sets was much lower compared to general circulation quarters, with only around 878,792 produced. This scarcity adds a notable premium for collectors. Due to their silver content and rarity, 1998 silver quarters have a higher intrinsic and numismatic value than typical quarters from that year. A proof silver 1998 Washington quarter can be worth anywhere from $10 to $25 or more, depending on its condition and demand. Prices have been seen to rise for examples in PF70 grade due to their exceptional quality. Since these coins were made for collectors, errors are less common. However, there have been occasional reports of minor minting flaws like cameo discrepancies or small die imperfections. These errors might add slight premiums, but because they are proof coins, they are generally free from the types of errors found in circulation strikes. Collectors highly value the 1998 silver Washington quarter due to its rarity and silver content. As part of a proof set, these coins attract those who focus on silver issues and proof sets. High-grade, flawless examples with deep cameo contrast are particularly desirable, making them excellent additions to a Washington quarter collection or a broader silver coin set. The 1998 silver Washington quarter dollar stands out as a unique collector's item. Its combination of historical relevance, limited mintage, and precious metal content make it a favorite among collectors. Start with the 1986 Washington quarter. Although it was minted in an era without any significant design changes, this coin remains part of an essential series representing the spirit and tradition of the United States. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, had become a staple in American coinage. By the 1980s, it was an everyday coin, but the 1986 quarter held some fascinating distinctions. On the obverse, you'll see John Flanagan's iconic portrait of George Washington, which had been used since 1932. Washington faces left, with liberty inscribed above his head and in God we trust to the left. The reverse features a bald eagle with its wings spread, clutching a bundle of arrows and olive branches in its talons. The mint mark, if there is one, appears on the obverse right below Washington's neck. These classic design elements have made the Washington quarter a familiar and enduring coin, symbolizing American ideals and values. In 1986, quarters were struck at the Philadelphia P and Denver D mints, with millions of coins produced at each. Philadelphia minted approximately 551 million quarters, and Denver minted over 504 million. These high numbers mean that the 1986 quarter is generally available, but specific mint state conditions or error coins can increase its desirability. For most 1986 Washington quarters, the value stays close to face value if it's in circulated condition. However, coins in uncirculated conditions like MS65 or higher can go for around $8 to $10. If you're lucky to find a proof-like specimen or one with a strong strike, it could be valued slightly higher. Collectors should aim for high-grade coins as lower-grade examples are fairly common. The 1986 quarter doesn't have any widespread or infamous errors, but like with any coin, minor varieties or minting errors can occur. Look out for things like die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies. If you find an error coin, it could be worth several times more than the regular face value depending on the rarity and severity of the error. The 1986 quarter is an accessible coin for beginner collectors and those who enjoy finding older circulation pieces. Its relatively high mintage makes it affordable, while high-grade coins are valued by seasoned collectors aiming for a pristine Washington quarter series. 1982 Washington quarter dollar. Now let's move on to the 1982 Washington quarter. This coin is particularly interesting due to a significant change in the minting process. Due to rising production costs, the U.S. Mint decided not to produce proof sets or uncirculated mint sets in 1982 and 1983. As a result, high-grade 1982 quarters are harder to find than other quarters from the 1980s, making this coin desirable among collectors. The 1982 quarter keeps the same design by John Flanagan. One of the notable changes in 1982 was the mint's shift in composition. These quarters were made from a copper nickel clad over a pure copper core. The absence of NES mint mark also means no proof versions were made for collectors, adding an extra challenge for those aiming to find high-quality specimens. In 1982, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced over 500 million quarters each. However, due to the lack of uncirculated mint sets, finding quarters in mint condition is far more difficult. Even though the mintage numbers seem high, collectors often find circulated examples, but pristine 1982 quarters are prized. Due to the scarcity of high-grade specimens, the 1982 quarter can reach impressive values in mint condition. In MS65 condition, this coin can sell for around $20 to $30, but higher grades can fetch up to $100 or more. Collectors are particularly interested in well-preserved, brilliant uncirculated coins due to their rarity. Errors from 1982 are especially exciting because they're relatively rare. Look out for double die errors, die cracks, or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase the coin's value. Given the production challenges of the era, minor errors are more common and sought after by collectors. For many collectors, the 1982 Washington quarter holds a special appeal because of its historical context. It represents a period of economic adjustment and production challenges for the U.S. Mint. A high-grade 1982 quarter is a standout piece, especially for those seeking a complete set of Washington quarters. 1985 Washington quarter dollar silver variety. Next, we have the 1985 Washington quarter. Now, you might be wondering, why is silver even mentioned? Generally, quarters produced after 1964 aren't silver. However, some private companies produce silver-proof sets for collectors using original designs. Though rare, these silver variations are highly sought after by collectors who love unique versions of classic coins. The 1985 silver quarter keeps the traditional design with Washington's profile on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. It's virtually identical in design to the standard clad version from the U.S. Mint, except for its 90% silver composition, since these silver versions were not minted by the U.S. Mint. There's no exact mintage figure for the 1985 silver quarter. However, these coins are often made in limited runs, usually under 10,000 pieces. Their exclusivity makes them more valuable. A silver 1985 Washington quarter can be quite valuable. In circulated condition, they generally trade close to silver spot prices, but in higher grades, they can reach up to $50 or more. Proof silver quarters, particularly if certified by grading agencies, can command premium prices among collectors. Given that these silver quarters are produced by private companies, error coins are rare, and they may not hold the same numismatic value as U.S. Mint errors. However, any production defects or unique flaws could still interest collectors. Collectors often seek out silver quarters as a way to diversify and add a unique twist to their Washington quarter collections. Since silver quarters are not part of the standard mint releases, they're prized as rare collector's items, especially in proof-like condition. (1945) Lincoln Wheat Penny. The year 1945 was monumental in history. World War II was coming to an end, and industries were booming in the United States to support the war efforts. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, had already been in production since 1909. Featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic wheat stalks on the back, this penny was designed to be a tribute to the former president's legacy. With the motto "In God We Trust" above Lincoln's head and liberty to his left, this coin has become an American classic. By 1945, the United States Mint was producing the Lincoln Wheat Penny using mostly copper due to the high demand for steel during the war. The 1945 penny has a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, making it both sturdy and resistant to corrosion. These pennies weigh 3.11 grams and have a diameter of 19 millimeters. In 1945, the penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your coin has no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. A small D on the lower part of the reverse side means it was minted in Denver, while an S means it came from San Francisco. I show each mint mark on close-up coins. Here's a breakdown of the mintage numbers for each mint. Philadelphia, around 1 billion coins. Denver, approximately 266 million coins. San Francisco, about 181 million coins. With such high production numbers, the 1945 penny isn't considered extremely rare, but certain varieties and high-grade examples can be valuable. Now, let's talk about value. A circulated 1945 penny in average condition is typically worth around 3 to 5 cents. However, if you find one in uncirculated condition, the value jumps significantly. Here's a quick guide. A 1945 penny in very fine condition is worth around 15 cents. An uncirculated coin can be valued anywhere from $2 to $5 depending on the grade. High-grade examples in mint state, especially with bright red copper surfaces, can fetch $15 to $20 or more at auction. Coins with the rare red coloration are highly prized by collectors. A red penny means the copper hasn't toned or darkened over time, making it exceptionally bright and desirable. Some of the most valuable 1945 pennies are those with mint errors, which are highly collectible. Here are a few to look out for. Double die errors. These occur when the coin is struck twice, resulting in a noticeable doubling of letters or numbers, particularly in the words liberty or the date. Off-center strikes. If the coin's image is visibly shifted, it's known as an off-center strike, and these errors can be quite valuable. Die cracks and cud. Sometimes the die cracks during the minting process, leaving a raised line on the coin. If it's significant, collectors may pay a premium for it. The 1945 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. In 1945, the United States was on the brink of victory in World War II. The country was emerging from the Great Depression, and industries were focused on supporting the war effort. With metal resources primarily directed to the military, the U.S. Mint continued to produce pennies in large numbers but had switched back to copper after the steel cents of 1943. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny comes from this unique era, a time when coins represented not just currency but symbols of American resilience. 2. Design features. The 1945 penny is part of the Lincoln Wheat series, first minted in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday. The coin's obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, showcases Lincoln's right-facing profile with the motto "In God We Trust" above him. To the left, you'll find Liberty and the date 1945 with a small D mint mark underneath, signifying its origin from the Denver Mint. The reverse features the iconic wheat stalks symbolizing America's agricultural roots and the denomination 1 cent flanked by United States of America above. We see E pluribus unum, the Latin for out of many. 1. It's a classic design beloved by collectors for its simplicity and connection to America's past. 1945 saw one of the largest production runs for the wheat penny. From the Denver Mint alone, a staggering 266 million 1945 wheat pennies were produced, making it a common find in circulated conditions. However, as we'll see shortly, some of these pennies are worth significantly more, especially if they come in pristine condition or have rare errors. So what's the market value of the 1945 wheat penny? In lower grades, such as good or fine, these coins usually sell for just a few cents over face value, typically under $1. However, collectors are always on the lookout for high-grade coins in mint state. For example, an uncirculated 1945 wheat penny in MS65 condition can sell for around $10 to $15. Coins graded even higher, such as MS67, can reach values upwards of $100 due to their rarity and quality. Now, one of the most exciting aspects of the 1945 penny for collectors is the potential for errors. A few varieties are particularly sought after. Some of these errors include doubled dies, where the text or images appear doubled due to a misalignment in the striking process. Other known errors are die cracks or cuds, where parts of the coin have slight cracks or missing portions due to damage on the minting die. Collectors have been known to pay a premium for these unique flaws, with values often doubling or tripling for coins displaying noticeable errors. Despite its high mintage, the 1945 wheat penny remains a staple in any Lincoln penny collection. Many collectors appreciate it for its historical background and as a representative of the post-war era. High-grade specimens or error coins add an extra layer of intrigue, as each unique variation tells a story from the production floor of the Denver Mint. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Next up, let's shift to the West Coast with the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, produced at the San Francisco Mint. While 1945 marked the closing days of World War II, it was also a time of major production for U.S. coinage. The San Francisco Mint played a crucial role in supplying coins for the western states and beyond. Though smaller in number than its Denver counterpart, the 1945 penny has its own charm and value for collectors. Design features. The 1945 penny features the same beloved design as the 1945 with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the wheat stalks on the reverse. The primary distinction here is the S mint mark below the date, indicating it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. The S mint mark is a highlight for collectors as it represents a smaller production run, making these coins slightly rarer than their Denver counterparts. The San Francisco Mint produced around 181 million 1945 wheat pennies, a significant figure but considerably less than the Denver mintage. Though still common, the 1945 is prized by those who enjoy collecting coins from various mints, especially high-grade specimens or unique error coins. Now let's talk market value. Due to its slightly lower mintage, the 1945 penny holds a bit of a premium over the 1945 in similar grades. In circulated conditions, the 1945 typically trades for a few cents to $1. But in uncirculated MS65 condition, it's worth around $10 to $20. Coins in even higher grades like MS67 can fetch between $100 to $200, especially if they have strong strike details and minimal marks. The 1945 penny also has its fair share of errors and varieties. Known errors include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, RPMs, and die cracks. RPMs are particularly interesting as they show signs of the S mint mark being punched twice, sometimes at different angles. These error coins can be worth significantly more than regular 1945 pennies. For instance, an RPM error can boost the value to $20 or more, depending on the coin's condition and how visible the error is. The 1945 wheat penny is a popular choice among collectors for its quality and smaller production run. Many coin enthusiasts seek out examples with the unique S mint mark to complete their Lincoln Wheat Penny sets. Pristine examples or error coins from this year can be quite valuable, making them a worthwhile pursuit for both beginners and seasoned collectors. So there you have it, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Pennies from the Denver and San Francisco mints. Whether you're just starting your coin collection or looking to add specific mint marks and errors to your set, these pennies offer a slice of American history with solid value and collector interest. From the everyday circulated penny to the pristine uncirculated coin, each tells the story of a remarkable era. 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now let's zoom in on the 1946 Lincoln penny. This coin was minted just after World War II, which adds an interesting historical context. The year 1946 marked the return of copper for penny production after the zinc-coated steel cents of 1943, a temporary shift due to copper shortages during the war. The 1946 wheat penny was minted in 3 locations. Philadelphia, the majority were produced here with no mint mark. Denver marked with a D. San Francisco marked with an S. Let's look at the production numbers for each. Philadelphia mint no mint mark approximately 991 million coins. Denver mint D mint mark around 315 million coins. San Francisco mint S mint mark close to 198 million coins. With such high mintage numbers, the 1946 wheat penny isn't particularly rare in circulated condition. However, certain grades and varieties can make it quite valuable. The 1946 penny features Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse or front side. Lincoln faces right, and above him, you'll see the motto "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right, you'll find the year 1946 and any applicable mint mark. On the reverse, you'll see 2 stalks of wheat framing the phrase 1 cent in the center, along with United States of America below it. This design was inspired by Brenner's admiration for President Lincoln and remained popular throughout the coin's production. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare varieties and errors, as they can significantly increase a coin's value. The 1946 wheat penny has a few key varieties to look out for. In double die obverse DDO, this error occurs when the coin is struck twice, causing letters or numbers to appear doubled. The 1946 DDO is most noticeable on the date and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Repunched mint marks RPM. In this variety, the mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, leading to a slightly offset mint mark. RPMs are more common in the 1946D and 1946S coins and can be highly sought after by collectors. Off-center strikes. Coins that were struck off-center can be worth a premium, especially if the error is significant and both the date and mint mark are visible. So, what's this coin worth today? The value of a 1946 wheat penny varies widely depending on its condition, mint mark, and any unique varieties or errors. Let's break it down. Circulated condition and circulated grades. A regular 1946 penny without errors is typically worth only a few cents. However, for coins in very fine condition or better, values can increase to $0.10 to $0.50 each. On circulated condition in mint state MS grades such as MS60 to MS65, values jump to between $2 and $10. For a gem quality MS67, prices can go up to around $50 or more, depending on the coin's eye appeal. Error coins and varieties coins with double dies, repunched mint marks, or major off-center strikes can fetch premiums ranging from $20 to over $100, depending on the rarity and demand among collectors. Proof coins. Proof versions of the 1946 penny weren't made, as official proof coin production was temporarily halted between 1942 and 1950.